Hello and good evening and welcome to the Health and Fitness Show. My name is Leo Nazar, and I think those who have tuned into the show before are quite aware of who I am and what I actually do. For those who are not aware of who I am and what I specialize in, my name is Leo Nazar. I'm a personal trainer, a martial artist, as well as a fitness instructor. I also do sports therapy, and I do diets and nutrition programs as well for people. Before we go any further, just a quick one so you guys, you're all aware that this is a recording, so it's not live at the studio. And this program tonight is going to be, the first part is going to be about me talking and going through basic exercises for the beginner intermediate person who can train at home, and what equipment you can use at home, that everyday equipment that you have at home, i.e. a chair, a towel, a can of beans, anything like that. So I have done this show before where I've explained to people on the exercises, but my plan is for the latter part of the show tonight is to show you, physically demonstrate the way to exercise, and so you are quite familiar, shall I say, that with the exercises of how to actually do them competently. Right. So before we go any further, the number for the studio, obviously if you need to send a message or WhatsApp us, you can. I will be getting back to you at the earliest convenience. Like I said, it's not a live show, so we won't be able to do it straight away. The numbers for the studio are Luton 01582 481822 or WhatsApp us on 07779 481822. Also, to see the video live, you can go on Inspire FM Luton, and you can see the practical demo on the second part of the show. Those who don't know the FM is the details to go onto our FM radio is 105.1. Right, without further ado, people have asked me over the months, to be honest, the last 5 or 6 months, about exercising at home, and we can't make it to the gym for whatever reason. It could be monthly fees that they're paying. People want to cut down on that. It could be because a wife that's at home doing the housework, housebound as it were. Hopefully not housebound, but a housewife that does the cooking and cleaning. So if she wants to have a little bit of time, she can work at home. Or it could be someone who's completely new and wants to go to the gym and maybe wants to learn how to do some exercises and execute them properly before they feel a bit more confident in about going to the gym, where there's other people that they can speak to and see. There are going to be obviously personal trainers at the gym are there to help. So this is another way of learning how to do the exercises at home. Now, basic exercises, and these could be for weight loss or even toning up, okay? Not really for increasing too much body mass. Normally for exercises that are done at home, there'll be really light resistance type of exercises. Maybe some that could be high intensity. Okay, high intensity just means that we intensify the exercises and have a shorter period of rest. Okay? So they're done to maximum failure, as it were, and then you get just a slight amount of rest to recuperate, to recover. We're not fully recovered, and we go back onto the next set, for example. Okay? And normally for high intensity training, the time limit normally reduces. Okay? So, what do we do for exercises at home? How do we perform them? How often do we perform them? How many sets do we do? These are amongst some of the questions people have asked over the years. And I do try my best to answer them during my programs, but people obviously maybe don't tune into that particular program and they miss the little keywords and the key sentences and the phrases that we use and the sets and how do we do them. So, exercises, even at home, should be done. For example, you can use your own body. So you're using body weight exercises. And these are very simple. I think nearly everybody knows these. So I'm going to go through them complete from beginner, basic to intermediate. So a complete beginner might start with something like a push-up, press-up. So you have different positions. Again, in the latter part of the show, I will show you the different positions, the variations from the box press-up to the three-quarter press-up, moving into the full press-up. So these are stages that we actually go through in order for us to achieve our goals. Now, what body part does the press up work? Well, primary muscles that are working are your deltoids and your pecs, pectorals, which are your chest muscles and your shoulder. There are also secondary muscles that are also incorporated and used, and your arm muscles and the muscles of the tricep. So anything pushing, so most exercises where you push normally work your chest area, shoulders, and they work normally the tricep. So these are the primary and secondary muscles that are in use during these exercises. So everybody knows how to do a press up. And again, variations on that could be assisting with a chair. You can have a decline type of press up where your feet are up on a chair and you're leaning down towards the floor. You go an angle higher at the back, which puts more strain on the chest to make it more harder. Or you can have a gap between the two chairs where you've got chairs put out and you put your hands on the chairs, your feet on the floor, and you're inclining. It's like a slope. You're on there doing the push-ups. So these are exercises that can be quite easily performed at home. And again, we should be aiming at least 3 to 4 sets. And a repetition range we're aiming for is around 10 reps. Right, another easy, straightforward exercise everyone should know is the basic squat position. So you're standing with your feet shoulder width apart, both feet pointing straight ahead as possible, heels and toes in a straight line, knees bending down to 90 degrees, arms should be coming forward and up or could be on your chest. You come down to a 90-degree position, hold for a second, and then drive up through your core, through your leg muscles, pushing up. So you're standing upright, back down, squatting to a 90-degree position. And again, these work your top of your thighs, slightly work the calves as well, and they obviously work in your core. Okay? So these are another form of exercises that we can do at home. Lunges is another one that we can do. Standing with your feet apart, the other leg, one leg goes forward first, bends down to 90 degrees. The back leg, you're on the ball of the foot on the back leg. That bends 90 degrees at the same time as the front one does. So you step forward with your left side, you bend your left leg, you bend your right leg. The right leg at the back is on the floor, only the ball on the floor now, and the front, you've got a flat foot, the whole heel touching the floor, and you're bending down to 90 degrees. And you can make it harder by alternating them. Left leg comes back in line with the front leg, comes back in line with the back leg, and then stepping forward again with the right leg. Or you could do repetitions, 5, 10 repetitions each side, and then change over. To make them harder, we can pulse, okay, so we can bend down in the lunge position and then go up and down twice, pulsing at that moment, and then straightening up our legs, going back to the start position, etc. Another easy exercise that everyone should be aware of are how to do sit-ups, which you lie on your back. Try putting a mat underneath you unless you've got carpeted floor. Knees soft, bent 90 degrees, feet flat on the floor. And you're using your arms to push yourself up off the floor. Just making sure your shoulder blades actually come off the floor. Okay? We don't have to crunch all the way at 90 degrees to get the different muscles, okay, to form correctly. We just need partial movement. So coming up off the floor, about this much off the floor with your shoulders blades off, then going back down, then coming back up, squeezing our stomach muscles. That would engage your core muscles and that will work the entire stomach. So these are real exercises that you can quite easily do at home. What other exercises can we do and what equipment can we use? At the moment we're just using the floor, if it was, so we're using the floor as a base to stand on, to lie on, etc. Furthermore, to make the squatting, which I mentioned earlier on, you could do a squat against a wall. Your back against the wall, come slightly forward with your feet, okay, hip width apart, bending down, holding that position at a 90-degree with your legs, back flat against the wall. And that could be done in sets, trying to hold that position for 30 seconds. Okay? As you get better, obviously, we increase the time. So that would be another alternative exercise. So later on in the latter part of the show, when I'm going to go through the movements that you've done, we're gonna then find out what other things we can incorporate and what exercises we can do to make it a little bit more easier or more difficult, as it were. So, coming up off the floor, raising, we can also raise our legs off the floor, lie down with our back flat on the floor, hands under our buttocks on top of my back of my hand, palm facing down, leg raises, bringing your knees to your chest, alternating your legs. All these are variations. Legs straight, going in this motion as if we're swimming. Okay, when you got our lying back on our elbows and our back buttocks on the floor. And again, we will be going through some of these exercises practically on the latter part. Okay, because sometimes it's very difficult to explain this without you seeing a visual picture. So for me, those who can see me right now, obviously if you're in your car, you want me to see the video, you can see what I'm doing with my arms. That's the kind of movement you'll be doing with your legs. Or you'll be bending your legs back and forth on the stomach exercises. Other exercises that you can do for your body parts at home, variations would be by using the aid of a chair, for example. Like now, I'm sitting in a chair. So from here, any kind of pressing above the head like this would work my shoulders. To make them harder or easier, I can then prone my hands and turn them around. So my knuckles facing forward, okay? Back of my hand face forward as I go up, they rotate, and my hands facing this way as it goes all the way up. As it comes back down, the palm of my hands face myself. So this is called a shoulder press, or this particular exercise is the Arnie press. It's called Arnie press because Arnold is the bodybuilder that invented this exercise. He did it first. And this works a complete 3 different heads off the shoulder. Okay, so you've got the side, the rear and the front delt, and this does all the angles in one. Again, variations of this, little weight in your arms, or if you're at home, a can of beans. I've got small 2 kilo dumbbells that I have at home. I use them for fitness. If you have them, great. If you haven't, no problem. A can of beans will do the same job. Okay, holding them in your hands, lifting up your elbows to the side, does your side delt. Arms go straight forward, and we're going up and down like this, all the way down to your legs, and then straight up in front, up eye level, does your front delts. Lean slightly forward, and bringing the arms to the side like this, with the elbows pointing upwards, hands in this prone position, fists pointing forward, and bringing it back down, does your front rear delts. So that does the back of your shoulders. So these are all different angles for the same muscle. Okay, so they're just doing a different angle on it, which will then build the whole muscle a lot better. So there are plenty of more exercises and variations to that. So by using a can of beans, that can be your resistance weight that you're actually using. Furthermore, you can use Dynabands. They're bands, they're elasticated bands that you can use. They help with exercises as well. Again, I'm not going to go through Dynabands and kettlebells and that. Maybe we will do that on a future session where you guys have an understanding that if you buy a band, how cheap they are. You could probably buy a decent band for about £14-15, and then you can use that nearly to do most of your body parts quite easily. So you don't have to go to a gym. That's all you need. And they come in different colors and different resistance. So if you want to have it a bit more harder, make it harder, the colors change to black, I think is one of the hardest colors. The easier colors, they start from yellow or red and yellow. So, you can increase the resistance of the bands by buying the bands that come in a set, for example. And again, maybe on another program, we will go through Dynabands and kettlebells, etc. But for tonight's program, all we want to go through is the basic exercises that you can do at home without any weights. Or if you've got small weights, and like I said, the can of beans will make the weight. If you've got anything a bit heavier that you can hold in your hands, that will still do the same job. So, bringing your arms up and down like this will work your shoulders. Bringing your arms straight forward from the upward position, upright. Okay, forward raise, rear deltoid raise. And we've also got arms straight down and doing shrugs with our shoulders. Bringing the arms all the way up. So arms straight, nice and soft. Elbows are not bent. They're not fully locked straight. They're held soft position. And we're squeezing up with our shoulders trapezius muscles incorporating it, and they're going towards our earlobes. And then we bring it down and relax all the way down. Push your shoulder blade right the way down. Relax, and then squeeze right to the top and hold for a second, and then back down. Again, you go upright rows where you're bringing them, keeping your elbows upwards like this rather than to the side. Bringing the elbows right up, bringing the weight or whatever you're using in your hand all the way up. Again, doesn't have to be any weight. If you're a complete beginner, you've never done these exercises before, and you want to start training your body, then we can do these exercises without any weight at all. Just bringing my arm. This is a weight of my arms, okay, which is still quite heavy if you do it slowly and controlled. So remember that the secret isn't so much how much you lift, is how you execute the exercise. So if you're doing it correctly, you're working the correct muscle. Some of the muscles are small and deep down. Okay, there's other muscles overlapping them, which then incorporate or start becoming used. When you're doing an exercise when the weight is heavy. So you're not quite working the muscle fully or correctly if we're lifting too heavy weight, where the surrounding muscles will help to aid you to lift the weight, when we should be working the smaller muscle maybe that's more either deeper or behind the muscle that's actually getting incorporated because of the heavy weight. That's something to remember. Okay, you don't always have to lift heavy weight to get stronger. Definitely don't need any heavy weight to get more shaped. Okay, to get sculpt, to get the body, athletic body, we're looking more body weight exercises or lighter weight and higher reps. So the higher reps range can go up to 15 reps. So from 10 to 15 reps is what we're looking at in order to lose weight and to tone up our bodies. Okay, so that's something, if I haven't answered during this show, I'm doing it now. Letting you guys know that the weight that you use is important. It's got to be moderate weight. We don't want it too light where we can do 10, 15 reps easily and I could have done another 10 on top. It should be that the weight that you use, again, as a beginner, it's not important about the weight. Let's get the exercises done properly. Once you've done a few months and you've become a little bit more better than what you were before, then we can incorporate, can of beans as some weight. All right, 2 kilo dumbbells maybe. Yeah, I remember using them for rehab, and I had a problem before on my shoulder, so we were using the lighter weight was given. I had a Dynaband given by the sports therapist. Incidentally, I didn't know all the exercises when I went to the sports therapist, physiotherapist as well, who asked me, which muscles that works and how to do them, and yes, I did actually answer most of the questions correctly. So they said because you knew what you were doing, the recovery will be a lot more quicker. And just remember, it's not about the weight you use, it's the way you execute the exercise. Right, just another reminder of the numbers if you need to call in or if you have any questions or queries. It's the number here at the radio station is 01582 481822, or you can WhatsApp us on 07779 481822. And again, Inspire FM Luton, if you want to see the video that we're going to be doing in the latter part of the show. So again, just a quick reminder for the people who have just joined us. This is a pre-recorded show, so this is not live. This is recorded before, so if you have any questions or queries, you can obviously text them in to us, WhatsApp them over on our group. Or you can ring directly to the station where someone will take your message and obviously get back to you once they've got an answer from myself. So bear with us on that one. So coming back to the exercises that we do, it's very important that you do a little bit of a warm-up to warm the whole body up before you do any kind of exercise, any kind of lifting, anything that's going to put strain on your muscles. Got to make sure that area at least is warm. Okay, so if it's a cold day, your warm-up might take a lot longer, or a bit longer at least. So we've got to first get our muscles, ready to do some work. So when they're cold, they don't really like working very much. And that's how injuries can occur, especially if you did the exercise incorrectly or you used too much weight, you lifted too heavy. That's how you get injuries. So we've got to make sure our body's nice and warm, the blood's flowing all around the body, nice and thin, really moving around, yeah, and then getting you ready to go. So remember that always before you do any exercises, whether they're at home or outside. I mean, going for a brisk walk, that's fine. That is your warm-up all in one. But if you're doing anything else, my suggestion is do your stretches, do your mobility work, warm up yourself, a little bit of a heart raiser before you start the exercise. And quick tip, I've said this many times, very important to make sure you stretch out at the end of the exercise. So you've done your exercises, you need to finish off. And tonight, in the second letter part, I will show you a few exercises for the top half. So today we're doing the top half of the body. Yeah, so we're just going to go through what exercises we need for basic exercises to work out sort of chest, back, shoulders and arms. Yeah, on the next show that we do next month, I will see if I can fit this in and trying to give you guys the information about how to work your legs. And again, this will be for the beginners or even intermediate people who can't go to the gym, who want to train at home for whatever reason. Okay, so this is the kind of exercise you can do. Again, the exercises I'm showing you here doesn't necessarily mean they have to be done at home and they can only be done at home. They can be quite easily done at a gym. They have a bench there. So instead of a chair, they'll have a bench. You can do the same exercises there. They have a floor, same thing that we got here. They'll have more weight there. So you can incorporate, dumbbells which are heavier than your 2 kilos, heavier than your baked bean cans. Okay, so there is progression on that as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean what I'm going through with you tonight necessarily means that this is only for the people who train at home, because these exercises can still be performed quite comfortably at a gym atmosphere, in a gym. So I will go through other exercises later on as well. We'll incorporate a towel, okay, which helps with certain exercises as well. And I'm sure everybody has a small towel at home which they can use. And that will help you with some of the exercises that you can't maybe do with the weight. Okay, so these are little exercises that I'll show you, incorporating body weight, okay, small weights or a can of beans or something that you'll be able to easily get hold of at home, and maybe the use of a chair. So these things will help you get to your goals a lot quicker. So these exercises can all be performed at home quite comfortably, yeah, with your own walls around you, your own TV on maybe, yeah, to motivate you. I don't know what you're going to use to motivate you, but something like that to keep you going. Maybe have a friend that comes over and you both share the exercises together. All right? So there are things that we are able to do at home quite comfortably, and we don't have to worry about going to the gym and seeing these guys that are, much bigger and intimidating kind of people, really. I hope I don't come across that way. I definitely don't mean to, guys. If you can see me in the video, all thumbs up, yeah? So, like I said, only got a couple of more minutes to go through this half, then we go on a break. On the latter part, when we come back, like I said, we're gonna go through the physical side, the practical examples of a few exercises that you can do, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of time to go through some stretches. But I'll only have about 25 minutes, so I'm gonna have to rush and trying to cram it all in. Furthermore, on the next show, we're gonna try and do the lower part of our body, so it'll be the legs exercises that you can do at home, okay, and using basic equipment that you should have at home. That's the whole purpose of me showing you what to do. Tonight's show is about workout at home rather than going to the gym, and it could be for beginners, it could be for intermediate people as well. So we went through some exercises today for shoulders, went through exercises for our chest. Chest would be press ups, for example. Again, we can make them harder or easier by inclining, declining, or the positions of our hands, okay, as well as our legs. So these are all variations of that. Sit-ups, again, we're lying down. We can use weight, we can use angles, we can do twists, and we're going to be going through that the latter part of the show as well. So we did the core today, we went through the arms exercises, we also went through the chest, and we went through the back. And that is what we're going to show you in a practical form on the other side of the break. Like I said, guys, if anybody has any questions or queries, you know the number here, okay? WhatsApp is 07779, then the same number of the studio, 481822, or the studio number, which is Luton number, 01582 481822, okay? And again, Inspire FM Luton. If you want to see, go on Facebook. You can go and see the show live. If you can't see it now, if you're in your car, then you'll have to go and on your thing and then have a look at it from there. The record is a recorded show, so you can see it at your own leisure. Okay, so coming up to the halfway time now. So I will see you on the other side of the break. Like I said, and going through some practical examples of how to train at home with basic equipment that you should all have at home, i.e. a chair, a towel, maybe a can of beans, some lightweight or something to help you out in your training. So that's what we're going to go through the second part. I hope this is enough knowledge for you guys. I gave those who are not being able to see the practical side today, the examples I've given today, that you guys understand how to perform the exercises correctly. Just remember to keep your legs slightly soft whenever you're doing them, so your knees are not fully locked out. Okay, and never lock out anything fully. Yeah, even your elbows slightly soft when you're doing it. Hip width apart with your feet. Keeping your body and chest straight, back straight, and chest out. These are little basic points that you should remember while you're doing any kind of exercise. Right, without further ado, we're going to go to the break now. And as soon as we come back from the break, we're going to go to the practical side of things.
Stay informed, entertained and engaged. Check out our new website, inspirefm.org.
Hi guys, my name's Leo Nazar. I'm a martial arts instructor as well as a fitness instructor and a personal trainer. Welcome to the second part of the show. And tonight's show, before I go any further, just to let you know, it's not a live recording. This has already been done, pre-recorded show. So if you need ask any questions or you got any queries, by all means you can still ring the station. The number here for Luton is 01582 481822, or you can WhatsApp us and any queries and we can text you back. Obviously it'll take a little while for them to get hold of me to get the answer first to get back to you guys. And the number is here is for WhatsApp is 07779 481822. Right, without further ado, the second part of the show, like I said earlier on, is going to be about practical exercises. And again, could be for the complete beginner or an intermediate person who wants to basically train at home with basic equipment that they have. So, I've only got a little bit of time. I'm going to go through some stretches quickly at the end as well. So we're going to have to try to cram this in. Hopefully next month's show, we're going to go do the bottom half of the legs. So you'll be doing a practical show on the second part again on the legs. So we're going to start with the basic press up exercise. Okay, to do a full press up, hands shoulder width apart. Okay, on your ball of the foot. Okay, nice straight line. Okay, keeping your back straight. All we do is go down to the floor and then we push up. All the way down and up. If you're finding that difficult, okay, there are progression stages to that. So that would be stage 3 in the press up as far as I'm concerned. Stage 1 for a complete beginner, box shape. So we're here, slightly leaning forward. So we've got about 50% weight on our chest and arms rather than my whole body weight. So down and up. I'm sure everybody can do these. So we normally do about 20 of these before we move to the second stage. The second stage is 3/4 press-ups. And again, they're called 3/4 press-ups because 3/4 of my body weight is what my chest and arms are going to be lifting. So from 50% roughly, we're transferring our weight forward with our hips, straightening our hips from here on the frontal part of the thigh, not on the knees. So you're coming off the knees now, leaning forward, raising the back legs up, feet up. So that's the quarter at the back. That is not touching the floor. So we've got 3/4 of my body weight. Same thing again, down and up. Nice and controlled in a straight line. Again, 20 of those before we can progress into the full press-ups, which are like this. Okay, so these are progression stages of the exercise. That, again, like I discussed earlier, works your chest, okay, your shoulders, and it also works your tricep as your secondary muscle. Moving to the next one. Sit-ups. So you lie down, back flat on the floor, 90 degrees here. And the first stage, again, basic stage, use your arms to come off the floor. Shoulder blades have to lift off the floor. Squeeze, come up, and try and lean slightly forward. Okay? That's basic press-up, sit-up. Now, to make it a little bit harder, 90 degrees with our legs. You can have your feet like this, or you can cross them over. Hands now become on the side of your ears. Elbows towards the knees without moving the legs. So try not to move the legs. Up. Squeeze and back down. Squeeze. Again, this can be made even more harder by bringing your legs all the way up. Trying to keep that 90 degree to 110 degree position from your body and your legs. And again, this is the first stage. Again, using my arms makes it a little bit easier. And again, bringing my elbows right the way to my knees, squeezing and down becomes much more harder. And again, that all incorporates my core. While I'm on core, basic exercise that we can also do is plank. We keep in a position like this, forearms and my fist touching the floor, head points forward. Here, make sure this is a 90 degree angle here. So that'll be too far out, that'll be too far in. So we're in this position, we're looking forward and we're trying to hold that position maybe for about 30 seconds. Okay. Again, that works a little bit of the top half as well as our core muscles. All right, so that's most people know these exercises. Nearly everyone knows how to do push-ups, press-ups. Everyone really knows how to do basic sit-ups. That's fine. One more basic, very basic one. Let me move on. It's squats. So now we need to be in a standing position. Right, moving into the next exercise, basic squat position. So if you've got a chair, great. Just sit on the chair. Your feet should be at 90 degrees, your legs bent at 90 degrees from the knees. All we're going to do is stand up, sit back down, touch the tip, okay, of the chair and then back up. Down and up, keeping your back straight as you go down, bending your legs. Nice and simple. To make it a little bit harder, obviously we move away from the chair. So we've got nothing to sit on anymore. So we pretend there's a chair at 90 degrees. We stop there, split second, and then we come straight back up again. To make these a little bit more harder, we can change our positions of our legs for sumo squat position. Okay, like the sumo wrestlers do this. Same reason why it's called sumo squat. So we're squatting down into sumo position, knees get pushed out, feet pointing out 45 to 60 degrees. Down, bend, 90 degrees, and then back up. Down, bend, hold, 1, 2, and up. Again, we can pulsate this to make it even more harder as we go down. 1, 2, and then back up. 1, 2, then back up. Ski position, as I call it, if I was going skiing. Okay, never been, so hopefully I'm doing the right movement there. Okay, so bending your legs, keeping them slightly more closer together, keeping a gap between our knees. Down and then back up. Down and then back up. The last one. Can I do across here? On the wall, bring your legs slightly forward, 90 degree position, and hold. Okay, 30 seconds. Right, works the entire leg, front, back, a little bit on calves, and it does the core as well. So those are the basic exercises. Right, so we're going to move on to the next exercise. Here, all you need is a chair. And again, if you've never done this before, you don't have to have any weight at all. You've got your arm as weight. Failing that, if you want to put a little bit of weight on, you can have a can of beans. In my case, I've got the small 1 kilo, okay, very, very small and light. And all we're going to be basically doing is from here, shoulder press, straight up, keeping our back straight on the chair, right up to the ceiling, pushing down, coming out with your arms, and then pushing straight up again. Arms, elbows staying slightly soft. To make it harder, okay, all we're doing is changing the angles. As we come down, we prone our hands this way. So the back of our hands face forward. As they go up, they rotate round. So this way, down and up. Okay. These are called Arnie presses. Okay. Arnie as in Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was a bodybuilder that invented this exercise. It works all three heads, the front, the rear, and the middle head of your deltoid. So breaking that down into separate segments. To do the side delts, what we need to do is lift them up, elbows out to the side. Back down and then back out. Okay, hold for a split second or two and then back down again. Okay, again, each exercise repetition range between 10 and 15. Forward delt for the front of the shoulder. Here we just keep our arms right the way down here, lifting forward to this position, just above your chin, eye level, and then back down. If you could do this standing up, doesn't have to be seated, okay? And that does the front. To do the rear delts, okay, you've got the rear part of the shoulder as well. So you've got the front, the middle and the rear. We lean slightly forward, okay? Elbows nice and soft, coming up to the side and then back down. Coming out to the side, hold, and then back down. Normally an average of 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 15 repetitions, okay? And that will be the base exercises. Right, there is another one, shrugs, okay? This is for the rear delt shoulder as well as trapezius muscle, which is a kite-shaped muscle on your back. So arms to the side. All we do is keep our elbows nice and soft. We don't bend our elbows, keep them nice and soft. And all we do is bring our shoulder blades as high as we can towards our earlobes, okay? So bringing them up, hold, squeeze, slowly release. So we do the positive phase, squeeze, and then a negative phase coming back down. Make sure it's all nice and controlled. Full retraction of the scapula. So it means that muscle has to go all the way down. Relax, okay? Then back squeeze, and then back down, okay? So that does the rear delt, the scapula, the trapezius muscle. So basic shoulders, okay, you could do them basically like this. To make it a little bit harder to do all the 3 heads in one go, I sometimes do 6 sets of this exercise. Just saves me going forward, to the side and to the rear, okay? So we've got the shrugs as well that we did, okay? Top of the back and shoulder muscle, that works as well. Then we go to the smaller muscles that we have, okay? How do we work those? The tricep, again, 3 muscles, that's why it's called tricep, and bicep, 2 muscles. So working the tricep, couple of different ways of working the tricep. Very got really lightweight. If you've got a little bit heavier, you can use, if it's light like this, I can use both at the same time, bending our elbow. So we're not going to move our shoulder blade. We're just going to bend the elbow. Bend the elbow down and then squeeze up, okay? Extension of the arm. Back down again and back up again. And then again, that works your tricep muscle. Variation of the exercise again, 90 degrees with your arm, pushing all the way back. Extension, okay, of your arm. Here. Nice and controlled. Remember what I said earlier on? It's not how much weight you lift, it's how you execute the exercises. They need to be done a very nice and controlled manner rather than jerking the movement. So that works the muscle that we're actually working. So that will work our tricep. What else can we do? Okay, so for bicep now, for the front part, again, very simple exercise. We use our can of beans, in my case, the 1 kilo dumbbells, and we just bring them up. Squeeze, and then relax. Bring the other one up. Squeeze. At the end of the movement, squeeze and hold for a couple of seconds, and then back down. Okay, that's one exercise using weights or using beans, like I said, at home. Another one, just a little towel. Okay. All we do, grip the towel this way and that way, opposite reverse grip, and then all we do is working our biceps. This one is going to be pulling upwards, this one is pushing down. We are actually working 2 muscles, opposing muscles at the same time. This arm is working the bicep because it's pulling. It's just a thought to remember, any kind of pulling exercise, you're working the big body part, which is your back, and your small body part, which is normally your bicep. Any kind of pushing type exercise, the bigger part that you're working is your pectorals, your chest, secondary muscle shoulders, but normally the chest, and pushing also secondary muscle will be the tricep. So we're working the tricep muscle here by pulling this down. As you can see, the tricep getting activated, and this muscle here this arm is pulling upwards, so they're incorporating the bicep. So even though this is a bicep exercise, you are actually working biceps, tricep and forearms. You can see the activation of the forearm every time you tense the arm. So when you grab something and pull it down or up, you're actually working your forearms as well. So holding that position, squeeze, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly release. Don't just let go, slowly release. Chain the arm to the other way around. This one's the bicep now. This one's going to be working the tricep. And we pull this one down and pull this one up. So these are just little things that you can use at home. Okay, so basically what I went through today is the very basic exercise for someone who's starting new, or someone wants to learn how to do these exercises without going into a gym and without using any real equipment. Like I said, I've got dumbbells here. You don't even have to have those. You can just have a can of beans. I'm sure everybody has some can of tomatoes, anything, peas. as long as they're both the same size. All right, so we can still be able to do these exercises home. I will show you on another later program how to use kettlebells as well as dynabands and everything else, which are another form of exercise. You might just need to buy a couple of kettlebells and that works your entire body. Same as the dynabands. Resistance, that's all it is. Any kind of resistance that you use for the body taunts the body, the muscles, and it makes them contract and elongate, stretches them back out, and that's how the muscles get fitter. That's how they get tighter. And obviously having the right food is the main important ingredients as well. It's okay training, that's only about 35% at a push. 65% is your diet. So twice as much is to what you eat. You are what you eat, as they say. So just finishing off on a couple of other movements, the whole body top half, grab the towel, pull apart with both arms and slowly raise it up to the top, keep the tension on and coming back down. Okay, so this gives you complete tension around the chest, around the lats, around the forearms and around the whole of the arms, including the shoulder. Right, the last little part we got now is just going to show you a little bit of stretches at the end. So whenever you finish any kind of exercise, you must learn to stretch. What happens is during the exercise, contraction of the muscle makes them nice and strong and tight. We need to lengthen that muscle for it to be working. So, okay, with the rest, it automatically lengthens, but we want to kind of do it now. So before you finish, always trying to finish off. So, for example, very quick stretch for the chest. We've done push-ups, etc. How do we stretch the chest? Basically, expanding the rib cage is how we stretch the chest. So any kind of movement that brings the rib cage right out like this. So here, arms out, elbows trying to push together this way, and hold that position where it hurts. Slightly past that and hold. How long do we hold the stretches for? I've mentioned this many times on the shows. Minimum is 8 to 10 seconds. Okay, if you just do 4 or 5 seconds and you do that, nothing much is done. As soon as you get to 4 or 5 seconds, the muscle starts to stretch. Then you need to hold that stretch for a minimum of 3 to 4 seconds. That's why they say minimum of 8 to 10 seconds. Any less than that, muscle's just about starting to stretch and you've stopped the stretch. So it's not going to get any more. It hasn't actually performed the stretch. So that would be your chest stretch. You can also have your hands on your hips here at the back, pushing the elbows together. That also does the same thing. As long as you're expanding your rib cage, you're stretching your chest. Now for your back, reversal of that. I want to bring the back around this way now. So now I'm going to come around this way like that. That expands the back. How do we do that? Arms go like this, interlocking, elbows nice and soft. Imagine we're pulling our arms this way. You'll feel a stretch top of my shoulders and my back. To make it a little bit harder, all we do is put our chin down. Tuck your chin right into your chest. Hold the stretches again for 8 to 10 seconds. Then shake it out. Same thing here. Up towards the sky. Pushing upwards. Hold the stretch 8 to 10 seconds. And then we're going to be doing the same thing, pushing down. So, okay. Again, these doesn't have to be done on a chair. They can be done standing up. Probably better off standing up doing them, to be honest. So that's your chest, that's your back. How do we stretch our deltoid, shoulder? Arm across the body. Make sure when you're pushing up any part of your arm or any body, do not push on the joint. So when you see me ever doing it, I'm normally got my hand cupped. Might be on the joint, but it's around the joint. Really here. So here where your tricep is, bringing it across, holding that position, you'll feel a stretch all along here. And again, 8 to 10 seconds. Once you've done that, I'll bring the other arm across and do the same thing there. So remember, bigger muscle group first. So back and chest would be the first muscles I would stretch if I was doing the top half, followed by the next bigger muscle, which is shoulders. Then working our way, what's left is arms. Tricep, bicep, automatically, you know, tricep means it's 3 muscles, so it's bigger. We're going to learn to stretch that first. The arm, hand goes right behind your back like this, and we're pushing the tricep back. Again, you can have what I do, cup around the elbow, pushing that back. Remember, never to push on the joints. Whenever exercise you do not press on your joints. So hold that again for 10 seconds. Shake it out, and the other arm, same thing. Once we've finished stretching the tricep, we've got bicep. Now this is a very hard exercise. Well, not hard exercise. Does anyone know how to stretch them? Basic one. Arms here, turn your thumbs backwards. So what you've got to do, keep your arms up, turn them back. As you turn them back, you'll feel a stretch going all the way along here. Right. So holding that for 10 seconds stretches the bicep. Forearm stretches, very quickly, we're going to finish off. Top part of the forearm, outer forearm, hands 90 degrees here, elbow and wrist, fingers back, holding that position, elbow up. 10 seconds, changing this way, inner forearm. Same thing again, just proning your arm this way around, pushing back, stretches your inside forearm. And again, 10 seconds and changing to the other arm, inside forearm, outer forearm. So we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done that, okay? How do we stretch our core? All we do is lie down on the floor and we bend, hyperextend back. So we just put our arms on the floor like a press up, keeping our back arched back, and we just stretch. It lengthens our muscles. So remember, whenever you're stretching anything, we're lengthening the muscle. So think about the movement that you're doing. The chest lengthening, expanding it. So we're going this way. Back, we want to stretch the back, we want to lengthen the back. How do we lengthen it? Here, bringing it round, bringing it up. Yeah, so pushing in those areas. Same as the tricep, pushing it back, puts a stretch on it. Same as this forearm, between the wrist and your elbow joint, we need to stretch that. So these are the basic exercises that you need to do, and how to finish off by doing the stretches always at the end. Hopefully we're coming to the end of the show now, and I'll probably see you on the next month's show. I'm not sure 100% what it's going to be, but I do know the latter part will be the practical side again on your bottom half, which is your legs. So we're going to show you what to do at home, how to do certain squats and lunges, etc., some calf raises, and finishing off. And again, hopefully next time I'll be able to answer any questions by then that you might have or queries regarding the show. Again, the numbers for the office for our studio are in Luton 01582 481822, or WhatsApp us on 07779 481822. Without further ado, I'll say goodbye and I'll hopefully see you next month.